Hey, Replay family, thank you so much for joining me on today. Hopping on here live a little bit at a different time, but it's due to the time difference because I am going to be speaking with Stephanie Phillips of World Childless Week, and she's located in London. So that's why I'm here early today. But on today, we're going to talk about infertility. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So if you know anyone who has infertility issues and just can use some support, please share this video with them, because we are going to talk about it on today. So right now I have Steph who is joining right now. She is coming in. I am super excited to have this conversation. So let's see. Hopefully technology is going to work with us on today. Okay, hopefully it's going to work with us on today. I see her coming in. Hey, Jane. Thank you so much for joining me. I am having this conversation with Steph Phillips, and she's joining. So hopefully technology is going to be on our side and allow her to come in. Hey, Rhea. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad you was able to pop on. Oh, wow. I can hear you, but I cannot see you, and you breaking up. Oh, man. Come on, Instagram. I don't know if you can hear me, but let's start over. I don't know if you can hear me, but okay. So let me find Steph again and get her to join. There we go. Let's see, can we get Steph up in here? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I'm your biggest fan as well. Okay, let's see if we can get Steph up in here. For all of you, one day, for all of you who are joining, please come on in. Hopefully Instagram is going to work with us on today. Technology is just not our friend right now. But Stephanie Phillips, because on today we're going to talk about infertility. Looks like she had to leave, but she's going to come back in. So while she's coming back in, let me just, tell you a little bit of why I wanted to have this particular conversation. Number one, infertility is something that's very common that we don't necessarily talk about. And this is really this really happens or is a big issue, especially in the African American community. And we just don't have the conversations about it. And so right now in the season that I'm in, my husband and I, we are having infertility issues as well. So I just wanted to have some support around the infertility, And so just decided to, why not have this conversation live so other women who are going through it or who know someone that's going through it can get the support they need and know how to support their girlfriends that are experiencing, infertility or on their TTC journey, because it can be really, really stressful. Hi, Steph, I can see you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Third time lucky, you kept breaking up on me. The signal kept going all the time. I was like, oh no, nightmare. So like Fingers crossed. Fingers
Oh
crossed we can do it this
I
time.
am so excited to talk to you on today. I'm excited and I'm nervous because I was just sharing with everyone that's coming in that my husband and I are in the season and where we want to have kids and we're experiencing infertility. And I was talking to a friend of mine and she found your website and she sent it to me. She was just like, I just want to give you this website. You should check it out, and possibly get some support behind it, And so I was going to contact you anyway, but then I was thinking, this is probably a conversation I should probably have live on my Instagram because infertility is a common issue. And I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it, right? And so, I wanted to just share this experience with my tribe because the name of my company is A Sister's Truth. So it's all about me, sharing my testimony and sharing my journey. And I'm in a new phase of my life. This is a journey that my husband and I are on. So why not share this conversation with my tribe? Hopefully, are you stuck? Can you hear me?
I can hear you okay. Am I frozen? At the moment, I can hear you
great.
okay.
We can hear you.
We're all right?
We can hear you. You're just frozen.
Brilliant. Okay.
So.
Okay. As long as you can hear me, just let me know if you can't.
Okay.
But yeah, I completely understand.
Yes.
The conversation about trying to conceive, and then for those of us who don't manage to have children, have to face the fact that we'll be childless for the rest of our life, is a conversation that's very hushed. It doesn't come out into the general agenda. It's people feel uncomfortable when you're the person facing the difficulties, but people also feel uncomfortable to question it because they know you might be facing difficulties, or they say things and it's the wrong things and they can hurt you. We've got a misunderstanding. We need to break down so many problems between communication. And make it a topic that we know how to approach it from both sides. So and that's the more we talk about it, the better.
we're gonna talk all about it because when I was on your website going through your videos and some of your your speaking engagements and different webinars that you've done, like the fact that you talked about comments that people make to those who are going through it, like I was able to relate to that so much because like my feelings gets hurt all the time, and I don't think people are being mean on purpose. They just don't know. Right. And so that's like one of the many reasons why I wanted to bring you on and have this conversation with you. But before we jump into the conversation, I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody, who you are, about your TTC journey, and, talk to us about World Childless Week. Like, how did that all start?
Okay. I basically am sort of childless partly due to circumstance and partly due to fertility, because I didn't meet my husband-to-be until I was about 32, 33.
Okay.
So the top clock was already against me because the fertility, it's really taken a nosedive by the time we hit that age. People think it's okay, we can still carry on, we've got IVF, we've got this, that and the other. It's not that simple a story for many people. So circumstances meant I didn't meet him until that age. We didn't actually start trying to conceive until I was probably about 36, 37 even. So it was really late. We went for some time trying and nothing happened. By the time we got to doctors, we had tests and found that basically I had problems, he had problems. And what a lot of people don't realise is men are equally with fertility issues as females are. So it's not always the female, it's not always the male. And quite often in cases like ours, we both had issues. So we were basically told we needed a double miracle because it was, there was problems both sides. Once we'd had all these tests and everything and had this result, I'd gone past my 39th birthday. And in the UK, at the time, we could still have free IVF, possibly 1, 2 or 3 free treatments with the NHS. I know it's very different in America. But because of the time frame it would take for me to go away and lose some weight, because that was the first thing, and then go back and then go on the medications to try and get my body so it would accept a pregnancy, I knew I would hit my 40th birthday. All free treatment stops in the UK at that time. It's gone up a little bit now, but at that time, all the free treatment stopped once you hit the age of 40.
You got free treatments? That's amazing in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because it ain't free in America.
Yeah, I know, but it's... No, I know. They very much call it a bit of an IVF lottery over here, because it should be that everybody gets free treatments. But it depends on what area in the UK you live, whether you get that entitlement. And the age has gone up to 42. And a lot of people do self-fund, but it wasn't something we considered. It wasn't right for us to go down the self-funding route, because, as I say, like America, a lot of people will do that, but it wasn't something that we could do. So at the age of 39, I knew that that was it. My chance to be mum was over. So it was a real, you hit that brick wall and that's it, because it was a case of walking away. Nobody tells you what to do, how to go forward. There's no support. And you literally see a brick wall, you hit it, and that's it. And you're just stuck, really stuck. And we found it very hard. We both went into our own sort of separate spaces to deal with what was going on. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell anybody. Like you say, it's so hard to talk about something that is so incredibly personal and life-changing. This is the thing that some people don't realise. It's life-changing, because if you dreamt of being a mum, and that's how you saw the vision, and then suddenly that dream smashed, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Where's my life going to go? What can my plan be? C, D, E, F, G. What's going to happen in the future? You're right, sweetheart. It's getting to you, isn't it? You'll get me going. One thing about me is I've got so much empathy, and if somebody gets emotional, we could be terrible here. So I understand where you are, because you're at that horrible situation of knowing you might not get that dream. And it's not a simple case of, I won't get it, I accept it. It's not a straightforward step. You have to grieve. This is the big thing. People don't realise you have to grieve. Sorry, I'll get very empathetic and get very emotional. I want to see other people going. But you have to grieve, and it's not a case of people understanding that grief, because they can't see a physical loss.
Right.
So that is, again, a big thing in conversation, that people understand. It's a disenfranchised grief. People don't recognise it as a grief because they can't see a physical loss, because you haven't born a child and lost it, you haven't had a parent and lost it. So this is one of the biggest issues to try and get across, that it is a grief. We are mourning. We have lost part of ourselves. There's part of our heart that will always remain empty, because it's the children should have been there and they're not. The same as people who lose a child at a young age, they can still visualise where that child would have been when they compare themselves to other families. And you can't go through life without not seeing other families and all the celebrations they go through. So you sit there and you imagine that celebration that you wanted, that you could have had, but you never will. So you have to go through that grief. But we went through our grief separately, and then I think we both tried to deal with it in different ways. I buried it, because I didn't understand it. I buried it. Every time something hurt me, I put another padlock, another plaster, went on my heart, and buried it and buried it. And it wasn't until I joined a support group on Facebook that I suddenly realised I was not alone. That other people understood me, they recognised my grief, they validated my emotions, and you suddenly think, oh my God, I'm not alone. And you don't realise how many people are affected by it. That was where I started to change. That was when I first started to grieve. And I started to find my voice. And it took a few years to find my voice. And the more you become aware that there's people out there, the more you become aware of what's going on in the world. And there are 2 fertility awareness weeks, one in the UK, one in the USA. But they, again, talk about fertility. They don't talk about infertility. So, again, there was nothing there. Again, you sort of think, hang on a minute. Again, you're not giving me a solution to my childlessness. You're giving me a solution to how to be a mum, but I know I won't be a mum. So I kept thinking there needs to be something for the childless. So the idea went in my head. I thought about it for a long time. Didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Whispered it to a few friends. They went, it's a bloody good idea, do something. Thought, okay, pulled it over again. Spoke to a few more close friends. and then decided that's why we needed to have a week of awareness to actually say that while there is support for trying to conceive, there also needs to be support for the people who remain childless. And that was, but it was a long process, because then I was 39 when I found out I wouldn't be a mum. I'm 52 now. And World Childless Week is only going to be in its third year this year. So it took a long, coming up. So it's still very, very new. But it shows it was a long journey for me to find the support I needed, and then actually think, okay, maybe I can try and say or do something to make a difference and make the support. Because my thing is, we need to find that support from day one. We need to know we're not alone. Whatever stage of our journey we're in, still trying to conceive or childless, we all need to know we're not alone. That's the biggest thing that everybody needs to have out there. But yeah, so no, I understand where you are.
You said so much, and I can relate to everything that you said. And that's another reason why I wanted to talk to you, and thought that, hey, Sharita, and thought that it would be a good idea to have this conversation live on Instagram so other women could join the conversation as well. You know, oh my God, you said like so much already. I'm, you know, a little emotional because my husband and I were in the process right now of trying to figure out like what our next move is going to be. And you know, my family, like a lot of my family members, my besties know, my best friends know, but a lot of my family members, like if they watch this video, this is going to be the first time that they find out that my husband and I went through IVF treatment and it was unsuccessful. And that put us in, well, me, I know for sure, it put me in a little depression that it was unsuccessful. Here in America, for those of you who live here in America and don't know, your health insurance may cover some of it, but not all of it. But IVF is so expensive that I completely wiped out my benefit, my health benefit that I have in the first round. I completely wiped it out between the treatments and between medications. It's so expensive. So if we were to move forward, we will have to completely come out of pocket. And even with, you know, health insurance, paying some of it, you know, we still have to come out of pocket. So it's like, you know, we, in my household, we haven't like necessarily like sat down and talked about what our next step is going to be, because like for me, it's like I need to decide what it is that I want to do, because at the same time, you know, I want to move forward, but I don't want to go in debt to do that, because I still have to take care of my child when the child gets there. Like IVF is expensive. Like I'm not for taking out a second mortgage on my home. I don't want to put it on credit cards. Like I don't want to go into debt to have my child, if that makes any sense. So it's like I feel like before I even have that conversation with my husband to say, okay, what our next step's going to be, like I had to figure out what it is that I want to do, like individually, you know? But yeah, a lot of my family members doesn't know that we went through IVF, and it is hard because, you know, people are fertile in my family, you know, and so when depending on who it is I'm talking to, when I, you know, tell them, oh, you know, we had to go through, you know, fertility treatments. Like just recently I told a family member, you know, that, you know, we have fertility issues. So that's the reason why, because every now and then it comes up, you know, why we haven't had kids yet. And so her response was, well, why you just didn't ask me to carry the baby for you? I would have carried the baby for you. And it's like, you know, thank you. I appreciate that. But you just automatically assume the problem or the issue lies with me. You know, it's like the issue is not with me per se, you know, because men have issues too, but nobody talks about that. It's nothing to be ashamed of, you know, but people automatically assume that it's an issue with the female, you know. But
it's also an assumption that you'd be happy for another woman to carry your child. And there's so many ins and outs. It might be that, you know, you really want, it's the same as people saying, why don't you adopt? Adoption is something you've got a calling to do, whether you're a mum or not a mum. It's something you've got a calling to do. It's not always it's not a replacement.
No, it's not.
And you've got to have it in your heart, and it's not an easy route. Again, there's no guarantees
Right.
that adoption works out. So it's a case of people are better off literally sort of saying, if you want to talk, I'm here for you. If I can help you, if I can just offer you a hug. But sometimes offering advice can be more hurtful than supportive. You know, it's just letting people saying, you know, I'm here for you if you want to talk, but I'm not going to push you, because it's your issue, your husband's issue, and you privately have to decide what is right for both of you. And that can be hard because you might have different thoughts.
And we do.
And again, you've got to work through, you've got to work through the issue of what you both want, combine a solution. And as you say, it's not so easy, because going into debt, and some people will say, but, oh, it's going to be worth it, you'll have a child at the end of it. But if you can't bring that child up in the living or the circumstances you want, you've already sort of changed your ideals. Plus, IVF is not the big or solution. The actual rates are extremely low. People think they're higher than what they are. The success rates, 24%. And they don't include the first few weeks of if you lose that child. So the statistics, because they're making money out of it, are actually twisted to make the rates look better and higher than what they are. And we all have to know, we all have to decide for ourselves when's the right time to say, that's it. And it's hard. So for me, obviously, we didn't do IVF. You've done one IVF. There's other people who might do 10 years of IVF. Or longer.
Yes, and that's another thing too. From my research, you know, some women who go through IVF and it's successful on like the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. Like, and that's another thing too. I mean, like the first round for me was brutal. You know, it was brutal for me, and it was brutal for my husband. You know, because he gave me my shots, and it was just like, I mean, I don't know. So to go through that emotionally 7 times and financially 7 times, it's like, I'm not sure if that's something that I want to do. So I'm you know, like I need to figure that part out for myself. You know, and I feel like I need to figure that out before I continue that conversation with my husband. Now, you guys who are just joining, just let me catch you up a little bit. We are talking about infertility on today. I'm talking to Stephanie Phillips, who is the founder of World Childless Week. A friend of mine, I was talking to her and shared with her the infertility struggles that my husband and I are having. And she gave me Stephanie's website, and I looked into the website. I thought it was amazing because she provides support for women who are childless, not by choice. And I was going to reach out to Stephanie last year, but I decided to have this conversation live because we don't talk about infertility as much, especially in the African-American community. We don't talk about it that much. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity to have a live discussion so I can get support and you can get support too. If you are in this position, or if you know someone that's in a position, I want you to know how to support someone that's having infertility issues, because at the time that I initially reached out to Stephanie, like my feelings was always getting hurt, and I didn't know how to tell the people who would talk to me how they was hurting my feelings, because I didn't have a solution on how they can like not say what it is that they said in a way where it doesn't hurt my feelings. And we're going to go into some of those comments in just a moment, but I just wanted to just give you a little bit of a backstory. So initially, I reached out to Stephanie last October, but if you've been following me for a while, you know that I had a death in the family, so we had to push the conversation back. She was, very understanding with my situation and was still willing to come on and talk and have this conversation on today. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. So, if I get a little emotional, please excuse me, because my husband and I, we're still in the middle of our journey trying to work things out, figure out what it is that we're going to do. But as you know, I share my life experiences with you because I want you to know that you're not alone, right? Even in this situation of infertility, I found out a few months ago that I'm not alone. Well, I guess I always knew that I wasn't alone, but it's from a different aspect, because Stephanie provides support for women who are childless not by choice, because there is a huge probability that my husband and I would never have kids. So it's like, I felt as though I needed support on that aspect of like never having kids. It's one thing to have support when you're going through your IVF journey, but to get on the other side of it and find out that you would never have kids, like where is the support on that end? And that's where Stephanie comes in. So she is frozen, but you should be able to still hear her. Are you still there, Stephanie?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm still
great.
here. Hopefully you
Yes,
can hear
we
me.
can hear you. You just it's just that you're still frozen.
Okay.
So Stephanie, I wanted to talk about the comments, because I was watching one of your webinars or presentations that you gave, and you share some of the hurtful comments that people say, and I can like so relate because people have said these particular comments to me. Like, four of the comments were, it wasn't in God's plan. These are the comments that someone has said to someone who is experiencing infertility issues or has found out that they're not able to have kids. You know, the first comment is, it wasn't in God's plan. No kids, do you want mine? Have you considered adoption? No kids, you're so lucky. You know, and I've heard these comments before, you know, because people have said these things in conversation to me. But Stephanie, I wanted you to talk about the comment. Can you cover no kids, you're so lucky? And the reason why I chose this comment for us to really like deep dive on is because people have said this to me, and in the same breath go into details about how their kids are such a blessing. Oh my God, I could not imagine life without my kids. But you just told me that I was so lucky not to have kids. Like, it's so hurtful. And it's like, I never know what to say to somebody when they say that to me, because it's just so hurtful, you know? So can you just kind of like give us some guidance around that particular comment?
I had this comment was said to me when I was on a train journey several years ago. And it was the first time somebody had said it to me where I'd actually found my childless voice. And I almost had an inner smile, because I thought, right, you're going to hear now the response to that. But I wasn't angry. I took it calmly, and I said to her, she goes, you're so lucky not to have kids. And I said, well, actually, no. And I think she was shocked for me to say no. And we started talking, and basically I said, well, did you want kids? And she was like, yes. And I said, and you got kids? And she went, yes. I said, so you got what you wanted. And yes, kids can be hard, but as much as there's down days, there's good days. But if you chose to have children, and you got children, and you're called a mum or you're called a dad, then you're lucky. If I wanted children and I didn't get children, am I lucky? I don't think so, because I didn't get the dream I wanted. Yes, I know parenting's not always easy. Yes, I know parenting can be bloody hard work. But none of us go into the idea of trying to conceive thinking that it's going to be a life of bliss and rainbows. So if somebody says to me, you're lucky, I'll turn around and say, well, did you not want children then? Because if you didn't want children, there are ways not to have children. But if you wanted children and you got them, then you're lucky. It's like, don't dangle a carrot in front of my nose because I can't have children. So I'm not lucky.
That's a good response. And thank you for sharing that, because I'm going to take that. I'm gonna use that response the next time somebody says that to me, because I don't know, because I'm the type of person, like, I don't want to say don't say that to me. I want to be able to say, you know, that was insensitive. Next time, say it like this. I just didn't have that alternative, you know, because being in this situation, you know, for the first time, like, I don't know what you should say. I just know you shouldn't say that, because that like hurt, you know, so that hurt my feelings. So thank you for giving me that, you know, thank you for giving me that answer, you know, because now I know how to respond.
It's a case, I think, when you're raw, you want to sort of like swear at them, you want to sort of like, get angry at them, or alternatively, you just want to slap them and walk away. But we don't gain anything from them, and they don't get anything. And if we can control the negative emotions inside of us to that person and actually sort of educate them, we're going to help, because then perhaps somebody else will mention it and they'll think about it, and it'll carry on slowly. Changing people's perception to the words. It's the same as if somebody's... It's funny because you hear all these sayings, and as soon as you come up with these ideas of what you can answer back, nobody says it to you. And sometimes you think, come on, just say it to me, somebody, because I've got an answer now. It's like the one of, oh, my kids are really annoying me. Do you want one of mine? And I actually, I really want to say to somebody, well, that would be bloody fantastic. If I come back to yours now, just pack them an overnight bag for a couple of days. I'll organise a white van for 2 days' time, come around and collect the rest of the stuff. And say it so seriously, and they'll be like, well, I didn't mean it. I'll say, well, I did. I've got no kids. I'm lovely. Or the alternative is, seriously, you want one of your brats? I want one of them, no matter what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So it's... You've just got to find what you're comfortable with, and a lot of the time it's who you're speaking to, what relationship they are to, are they a complete stranger, what situation you're in, and all of these factors create how you feel, and your emotions on that day are how you react to response. Because a lot of times it's a small sweep, you laugh and say nothing more because you can't without breaking up. But I've got the confidence now, and I'll say what I want, but you can't always be in that situation. You do have to always focus on what is right for you at that moment in time. Always focus on your self-care. Always, if you can. That's the priority.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I preach about self-care all the time, but, like I said, I'm just in a new space. I don't really know, like, what to do or where to go from here. So like this right here is a part of my self-care, talking about it and letting it out, to someone who can, so to someone who can understand, I had a friend who had a little bit of a fertility issue, and it was with her, but it wasn't as severe as I feel as though my situation is severe. So, I saw her go through that, and she was able to have kids and have 2 beautiful little boys. But, it's different. I feel like it's different talking to you, because I may end up in the same situation where I'm just childless, and that, if that happens, it poses a whole nother dynamic in my household, because, I have to have a conversation. I had a conversation with my husband just to let him know that, I don't think less of him at all, because he did ask me before. He was just like, is this a deal breaker for you? Because, he just felt really, really bad. And I was just like, I don't know if I could have done life with someone else with kids. Like, that's how much I love you. Now, going through the process, we had to like get to that point. Like, it took a little while for me to get to that point and to like say that with him, because I just needed that time and space to kind of like go through my grieving process when the first round didn't work. I don't know how the doctors are in the UK, but some of the doctors here have really bad side manner, like really bad side manner. And it was one time we left the doctor's office, and it was so bad that my husband and we didn't even talk to each other in the elevator, because that's how bad it was. Because my husband had some tests that was done, and the doctor came back and was like, just like this. Yeah, so it's a possibility that you have a brain tumor, so you probably don't want to worry about kids right now. You need to go get that brain tumor checked out. We was like, and like walked out of the room. The nurse would see you out, stop by the desk, and we were like, What? Like, we were so speechless, and we were in the elevator. We didn't even know what to say to each other. So we are already on this journey. We're super excited, you know, because we're like, if we could just get the help, maybe it will work for us, because we know we're having faith in God. And then we hit a brick wall, like, immediately, because we got to worry about a brain tumor. And so this particular day, my husband and I, we were in separate cars. So when I got it, we didn't see each other in the elevator. So when I got in a car, I called my best friend, bawling, because I'm like, oh my God, if it wasn't enough, Jeremy may have a brain tumor. And he got in his car and he called his mom, bawling. So we couldn't even like come together and talk to each other at the time, you know, because we just didn't even know what to say to each other. So like, can you give us some tips? Like, how have you and your husband been able to like just heal?
It's bloody hard, because like you, it was a case of, you'll find a lot of people go, oh, you're childless. Oh, isn't that great? You must have a brilliant relationship. Well, if you go through infertility, it doesn't always strengthen your relationship. Yes, it can, but it can also push people apart.
Absolutely.
People need to realise not having children, it's one hell of a tough journey, because yes, you love your partner or your husband, but you've got to love them a lot to go through the grieving process, because like I said, we went our separate ways. We didn't talk. We couldn't talk. I remember saying to him once, if it's my fault, will you leave me? And he was like, no. But then we find out it's his fault as well. So obviously we've both got problems. We're both angry at ourselves, but we're both angry at each other as well. But you can't. So we did grieve separately. This was the biggest problem. But the thing I found was, when I started to get my confidence through the support groups, I then started to open up to him, and he is still going through a process I went through a few years ago, because he bottled it inside. So the sooner you can talk to each other, the better. But it's not going to be easy. Perhaps almost, this is just an idea in my head, perhaps you could both write down thoughts and questions on a piece of paper in advance. So when you come to talk, you already know things you want to talk about. Because if you just say, we're going to sit down Saturday night, 5 o'clock and talk, it's like, well, you say something first. Well, what do you want to say? And you could end up talking and be brilliant, but it could be that you end up not knowing. It could be stalemate, and then you walk away, and the next day you think of something you want to talk about, but perhaps the other person doesn't want to talk again that day when you really do. So it might be a way to do it, but I can honestly say the more you can talk, the better it will be for you. But the fact that you've broke out and you're speaking to me now,
Are you still there?
you've frozen now, so I don't know if you
Yes,
can hear
I
me
can hear
still.
you. I'm sorry. A phone call came through,
You come back.
but I can hear you.
So, okay, yeah, no, you come back. It's all right. So yeah, it is incredibly hard, and it is another hurdle to get through. It's opening up that conversation with your partner.
Yeah.
And it's got to be, but like you say, it might be good for you. If that's, you've got to do again your own process. We're all differently. You want to process a lot of it by yourself. So do that, but don't leave it too long in case he thinks she's not talking to me. It's hard, because you've got to try and work out how the other person's feeling and find the buttons to push to make that person open up with you and be honest. Be completely honest, because if you're not honest, again, that's not going to help.
Right.
But try and break down the barriers and push it, because otherwise you'll end up going into separate grieving processes, which is what we did, and it's not healthy.
I'm definitely going to take your advice on that and not wait too long to really talk to my husband about it. But most men, they're not really good with sharing their feelings, because especially here in America, our young boys are not taught to really be emotional and share their feelings and really talk about their feelings like that. So, so that's a little bit of a barrier too when it comes to my husband, because he kind of shuts down, a little bit. But with your organization, you have men that support your organization, right? And I was going to say that
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, I was going to say, last year we had a whole day dedicated to men, Men Matter 2 on the Thursday. And that's under the website World Childless Week. On World Childless Week 18, you scroll down to Thursday. There are articles on there. There's a webinar on there. There are 2 videos on there. Try and get him to read some of them. Try and get him to watch some of the videos. The talk between Robin Hadley, who's English, and Michael Hughes, who's Australian. Totally different guys, but they gelled when they came together in this conversation. That is the thing. There's still an overlap of understanding. Because as you say, men don't talk about it. But then there's 2 videos on there as well. Rod Sills does a video on his own, England Expects, which is, I think, an amazing video for men to watch. You know, and there's another one on there. There's poetry on there. There's letters, and it's all from men. And it will let you see that men, I think, across the world, definitely in England as well, it's almost the case, if you're the man, you're tough, you're strong, you support the woman. But being tough and strong and holding your emotions inside, it's not going to hurt you. But if you can just read something or watch something, again, it can start a discussion. Even if you could say, right, this video is only 15 minutes long, let's sit and watch it together. And perhaps that'll be a way for you to start going, oh my God, I agree with that. I can see that. I believe that. That resonates with me in some way. It's just a common connection that starts the conversation between the 2, because, as you say, it is hard for men to talk out. So
I'm definitely gonna send him the website and suggest that he watch the video. I don't know why I didn't think of that at first. So yeah, because we're still going through it. It's still pretty, it's still pretty touchy. I feel like I'm the last one in family who hasn't had a baby. That's not the case, obviously, but that's just how I feel. So, but at the same time, I don't want people to feel as though that they have to tiptoe around me or think that I'm like super sensitive. So can you just give some words of encouragement to those who know someone that's going through this infertility journey or TTC journey, who's having, problems? Like, how can they support their friend or loved one?
The best way I would say is literally to sort of, if you know, as I said, always let them know you're there to listen, not to judge, not to give false hope, not to give sentences that can be upsetting, like, it's not in God's plan. It's literally just trying to understand it's a completely different language. And the big thing is also knowing that sometimes that they might seem angry or resentful or something, but they're not. They might be, they've got their own inner emotions going on. And it doesn't mean that they're not happy for you getting pregnant, but it means that maybe they're unhappy because they're not pregnant. But it means that they might not be able to, be sort of ecstatic when you give them some news. They might not want to hold your new baby, but they might. It's giving them the choice to do what they're comfortable with, like baby showers. Not every woman wants to attend a baby shower, but some other women might go, I'm really looking forward to this night, because we're all different. We all handle it different. And again, on different days, it might be somebody's going, yes, I'm coming. I'm really excited to come to your child's 5th birthday party. And on the day, they might be like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. They might be sitting outside the property in their car going, I just can't go in. Or they might go in and one person says something that just means they've got to break to the toilet for 5 minutes and have a quick cry. Or they might have to leave, and it's not an insult to you. It's just them trying to deal with their grief. So it's just accepting a lot of their reactions will not necessarily be what you expect, but giving them the choice to lead the way. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there is pressure put on. You have to attend this event. You have to attend. Again, self-care. Do what's right for you. If you can't go to a baby event or a child event, if the person knows the situation, you can just say, I'm ever so sorry, I'm struggling a little at the moment. I can't make it, but my thoughts are with you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Do you know what I mean? It's understanding however they approach you. They're doing their best to do their best through a really tough situation. Just let them be, but support them.
And then if you have a, if you have a friend that's going through it, but, she doesn't have a problem with coming to like baby showers and kids' birthday parties, because that's how I am. Like, I'm not at the point where like oh my God, I just cannot do it, like a baby shower or a birthday party or anything like that. Still invite them. Like, don't just not invite them, especially if it's a really close friend, because I know that would hurt my feelings if one of my besties didn't, invite me to her son's 6th birthday party. Like, that would like really crush me, because yes, I know I'm the only one there without kids, but I'm still happy for you. I still want to celebrate your son's birthday. Like, don't exclude me just because I don't have kids, because that has happened too. Like, people just, well, you don't have no kids, and so
you definitely get that you're not a mum, you don't understand, you're not coming along. Sometimes that's a hurtful thing, because hang on a minute, I was a child, so perhaps I can give a child's perspective, perhaps I can give an aunt's perspective, perhaps if you work as a doctor or a nurse or a midwife, you can give their perspective. So we can all have opinions. We've all got some connection with children somewhere.
Absolutely.
But again, it's like you say, it's just, don't dismiss us. Do invite us.
Please do.
But if we can't turn up, we do turn up and leave, or we're not in the emotions we want, except just give us the choice. But please forgive us if we're not happy and bouncing.
Absolutely. I may not be a mom, but I do have a mom, so I still have an opinion. I am so happy that you that you said that. Like, this.
Well, I was thinking, hang on a minute. You go to a court to get something sorted. The judge decides. But whatever your situation is, do you think he actually understands your situation 100%? Is he in the same job as you? Is he in the same age as you? Is he the same colour as you? Whatever it is, he's a judge to divide, and he's there to help you, give advice or guidance or make decisions neutrally. So sometimes, not being a parent, we can actually stand on the outside and be completely neutral to the situation and just give a black and white opinion. They don't have to like it, but they might. But just, if you want to talk, let us talk.
That's it. Just let us talk. Let us talk. I see that we have some new people that are joining. If you are joining me, thank you so much. I am LaKitia, the founder of A Sister's Truth, and I am talking to Stephanie Phillips, who is the founder of World Childless Week, and we are talking about infertility, and I'm just here having a conversation with her because my husband and I are on our TTC journey, and it's a possibility that we may not end up with kids. And so Stephanie was recommended to me to reach out to get some support. And I just wanted to just have my very first conversation with her live here on Instagram, because, infertility is something that we need to talk about more, because it's a common issue. Like, it's a lot of people out there who are having these, or who are having issues, and who are found out that they cannot have children at all. So if you are someone, or if you know someone, please share this video. Leave a comment. If you don't feel comfortable with leaving a comment right now as we wrap up the interview, please, send me a question or a comment in the DM. I will respond. If you are catching this on the replay, you can respond by leaving a comment, and it will come into my DM. And if you're catching this on the replay, you can still share the video, because I really want to get this video out and let it go viral, so more women can know that they are not alone, because this is a hard thing to go through. And with that being said, Stephanie, can you just give us some last words of encouragement as we bring our conversation to a close?
The biggest one I'd say is that with the two facts. One is, as you say, you're not alone. The basic statistics are, for a survey done a few years ago, sort of this side, 1 in 5 women is childless at the age of 45. 10% childless by choice. 10% childless by fertility. 80% childless by circumstance.
80%?
So, yeah, it's more circumstance than it is fertility. So whatever brings you to being childless, you are not alone. There is a lot more of us out there than you realise. And the other thing is, you are worthy. Sorry, it gets bigger. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of everything in this world that you want. You might not got your dream to be a parent, but you are worthy as a human being to be on this earth and to be happy. But yeah, you're not alone. Really big, important words.
Very important. How can we reach out to you? For those, I mean, I know how to get in contact with you, but those who are watching us, how can we reach out to you, support World Childless Week, and get more support from you?
Yeah, well, World Childless Week, it happens in September every year. It's based around the 16th of September because that is the day for the childless. There's reasons and explanations as to why that is on the website, so it's www.worldchildlessweek.net. On there, you'll find stories from multiple people. You'll find stories from men, from women, from all ages, from all different parts of the world. We're all on there because it affects everybody, no matter where you are. There is somebody you know who's childless. They might not talk about it out, but they're there. But look at the stories, read the stories, and you'll understand. You'll start to see you're not alone. But there's a page on there with support groups. There's a page on there with social groups. There's lots of different ways you can start to interact. And if you get confident enough, please share the website, share a story or something that resonates with you through social media, and just get the word out there so people can go back to that one website, but find... It's almost like the beginning of a network, and there's lots of different things coming out of the website, so it's not all about me. That's not the point of World Childless Week. It is about a community coming together to support each other, and us all helping each other find something or somebody or someone who can just give us that little edge and support going forward. You know, the sooner we can let people know when they find out they're not going to be a parent, the sooner they can start to grieve, the sooner they can start to heal. And that is so important. It really is. Yeah. But yeah, go there. You'll find all the information. You can sign up to the newsletter. All the social media groups are there. But yeah, please go and find that one connection you need. It's important.
It's really important. And, you know, thank you so much for starting World Childless Week. Like, I really appreciate you doing that, because like it's a little comforting knowing that there's somewhere I can go, you know, because like I said, we're not at that point yet where it's just not going to happen, but that is that can possibly be my reality that we're looking at, my husband and I, and knowing that there's support out there on that side of it is really, really comforting. So I appreciate you for starting it. And, you know, and this is another reason why it's so important, you guys, for you to accept who you are and live in your truth. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not about you. It's about the people that you are to motivate, inspire, and impact. We all have a purpose and a calling. I'm always definitely talking about, you know, how we need to follow our purpose, embrace our purpose. And I'm always giving tips on how to do that, because we never know who's watching us, and we never know who needs what it is that we have, because we all have talents and skills that will bless someone else, you know. And you're in the UK, I'm in America, and you are supporting me. Like, you're helping me out, right? By just being who you are and living in your truth. And this is why it is so important. It is so important for us to live in our truth. So again, I know someone asked what the website was. It's www.worldchildlessweek.com. Thank you, GutLink, for putting that in the comment section. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I just pinned her comment so you can know where you can go if you need the support, or if you know someone who needs the support. This is a conversation that we need to continue to to have. We need to continue to support each other, you know, going forward. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have this conversation for the first time and have it live here on Instagram, because I know that there are other women. It had to be other women that was going through the same thing I'm going through. And I'm right. Which is why I'm here. You two are amazing. Thank God for World Childless. Thank you so much, Clara. We really appreciate you for saying that. So please continue to support Stephanie by following her across social media, you know, sharing, you know, her website, and just sharing with other women. And I appreciate you, Steph, for coming on and having this conversation with me, because I'm just going to be 100% transparent. I was really nervous about having this conversation because, like I said, we're still in the middle of it. A lot of my family don't know that Jeremy and I are going through this at the time, you know, so this may, if I have family members who watch this video, this is going to be the first time they're hearing it, you know, because it's not something that we just been announcing at Christmas and Thanksgiving. You don't just announce it. So I was really nervous about having this conversation, but I'm so glad that I've had this conversation with you, because you made it a whole lot easier. And I just thank you for everything that you're doing. I appreciate you.
No, I really appreciate that you've, you know, brought me onto your audience to have that conversation, because it is a case of the more we talk, the more that we can break down the barriers between the childless, the child-free parents. It'll make for a lot happier place and a lot easier place if we can all start to talk a little bit more openly, or understand where we need to, you know, we've all got hardships, we've all got good days, but we need to interlink and just understand. So and like you said, there's more than us than people realise. There's a lot more of us who are struggling.
Absolutely.
There are a lot more than some people realise.
Absolutely. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me on today. This is a special edition of Living Her Truth. I did it here at this time because I don't know if you picked up on it. Stephanie is in the UK, so it's about 8 o'clock p.m. her time. So that's why I'm going live at 1, you know, Central Standard Time now, because I want to, you know, to get her on at a decent time in her time zone. But for more interviews like this, where I'm being true, authentic, and I'm talking to other women who are sharing their journey and how they are living in their truth, you can find me over on Facebook. Go to Facebook and search Living Her Truth. On Monday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I am interviewing another phenomenal woman, and we're just sharing our stories and our journeys in order to empower and motivate another woman, so she can know that she is not alone and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Talking to Stephanie today, I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that life will continue if we were to never have kids. And so again, Stephanie, I thank you so much. And I really appreciate you coming on. And who knows, maybe we'll do another live later on.
I'd love to do that, definitely would love to do it again. It's been really good. And I really appreciate you inviting me to chat. Thank you ever so much.
You're so welcome, and thank you for saying yes to this interview. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, every time.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.